Let's dig a little deeper to one of Bolton's biggest claims from the book, the allegation that the president asked China to help him win re-election.
Now, you will remember, Mika, that this is something that the president actually did in front of cameras.
Yep.
And
as
actually
we opened.
said, yeah, and we opened with it, and you'll remember that Marco Rubio said Donald Trump was just joshing.
Nope, not joshing.
That was his way to get a laugh from people, which is sad and pathetic because he knew and other Republicans knew that Donald Trump was asking the leader of China, people who consider us to be their enemies, to help him win the election in 2020, like he wanted Russia and like he asked Russia in press conferences to help him win the election in 2016.
Yeah.
And like he asked, of course, Ukraine too. And of course, Marco Rubio and the other Republicans just remain silent. I hope it's worth it for him.
Bolton writes that Trump told Chinese President Xi Jinping on the sidelines of the Group of 20 summit meeting in Japan last year to purchase American agricultural products in order to help him win farm states. According to a copy of the book obtained by NBC News, Bolton writes, quote, with the press gone, Xi said, this is the most important bilateral relationship in the world. He said that some unnamed political figures in the United States were making erroneous judgments by calling for a new Cold War, this time between China and the United States. Whether Xi meant to finger the Democrats or some of us sitting on the U.S. side of the table, I don't know, but Trump immediately assumed Xi meant the Democrats. Trump said approvingly that there was a great hostility among the Democrats. Trump, Bolton writes, then stunningly turned the conversation to the coming U.S. presidential election, alluding to China's economic capability to affect the ongoing campaigns, pleading with Xi to ensure he'd win. He stressed the importance of farmers and increased Chinese purchases of soybeans and wheat in the electoral outcome.
So, Willie, sadly...
He waits until now.
Sadly, none of these are surprising. I mean, they're really not. He asks the leader of China, he asks the leader of Communist China to help him get reelected. That's not a surprise because we showed the clip up top. That's exactly what he did in front of the press. We also have a report that President Xi talked about building concentration camps for 1 million people, for 1 million Muslims. Donald Trump, through an interpreter, John Bolton said, Donald Trump told President Xi, that sounds like a good idea to me. Not a surprise. He'd do anything for a trade deal. And besides, he's always looked up to autocrats and actually praised President Xi in the past for seizing total power in China. And then, of course, there's the little part of the book where he talks about how he supported the execution of journalists. Again, not a surprise. I think I said something on this show a month or two ago that he'd jail us and jail other people and possibly execute us if he had the opportunity to do that. Mika and I have been saying that for privately, at least, for some time. That's no surprise. This guy, the only thing that stops this guy from doing any of this is the fact that we live in the United States of America and not communist China. So, yes, these are revelations. It's good to see it put down in paper and put in context on when he supported the execution of journalists, when he supported concentration camps in China, when he was begging the leader of communist China to help get him reelected. Good to know, but I must say, at least for me, none of this is particularly shocking that it came out of his mouth.
I had the same thought, Joe, and then it made me think, what does it say about this president and this administration that it's not shocking to hear that he casually talked about executing journalists, or that he sort of gave the green light to concentration camps in China when President Xi brought it up, or that he encouraged President Xi to help him meddle in the election, to help get him reelected by buying products from farm states, soybeans and wheat from farm states that the president needed to get reelected.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.